At exactly 11:47 p.m. every year, on the same date, a voicemail appeared on her phone, always from the same number, always from her son, the son who disappeared 8 years ago. But Mama Rosa never opened a single one, not because she didn't love him, but because she was terrified of what she might hear. Tonight's story is about regret, anger, forgiveness, and a mother who spent years running away from one message that could have changed everything. In a quiet fishing town lived Rosa. Everyone called her Mama Rosa. She sold grilled fish near the port every morning, always smiling, always feeding hungry children for free. But every night, when the town fell asleep, her smile disappeared because inside her old wooden cabinet was a phone she never touched. A cracked black cell phone wrapped carefully in cloth, like a dangerous memory. Every year, on October 18, it vibrated once, and another voicemail appeared. One more unheard message. One more wound she refused to open. Years earlier, Rosa had a son named Gabriel, a loud, energetic boy who dreamed bigger than the sea itself. He wanted to become a musician, not a fisherman, not a vendor, a musician. Their tiny home was once filled with laughter. Gabriel singing while washing dishes, playing imaginary drums on tables, dancing badly just to make his mother laugh. And Rosa loved him more than life itself. After losing her husband early, Gabriel became her whole world. But poverty changed people, and fear changes love. When Gabriel turned 19, he received an opportunity. A music producer in Manila wanted him to audition. It was his dream, but Rosa panicked. Manila was dangerous, too far, too uncertain. She feared losing the only family she had left. So instead of encouraging him, she fought with him. Rosa angrily said, "Dreams don't feed people." Gabriel replied, "I'm trying to build a future." Rosa argued, "You're abandoning me for fantasies." The argument exploded like thunder. Years of buried frustration surfaced. Gabriel accused her of controlling him. Rosa accused him of being selfish. Then finally, the words neither of them could take back came out. Rosa said, "If you leave this house, don't come back." Silence. Terrible silence. Gabriel's eyes filled with pain, not anger, but pain. Then he quietly grabbed his bag. Before leaving, he looked at her one last time, waiting, hoping she would stop him. But pride is a cruel thing. Rosa stayed silent, and Gabriel walked out into the rain. That was the last time she saw him alive. 3 days later, Rosa received a phone call. There had been an accident. A passenger bus traveling to Manila lost control during a storm. Many survived, some didn't. Gabriel's body was never found. The ocean had swallowed part of the wreckage. Rosa collapsed before the caller even finished speaking. For weeks, she searched hospitals, ports, police stations, bodies, nothing, no goodbye, no funeral, no final hug, just emptiness. And then, 1 week after the accident, the first voicemail arrived. 11:47 p.m. Unknown number. Voicemail received. Rosa stared at the screen all night, her hands shaking, because the number belonged to Gabriel, but she could not press play. What if it was his final moments? What if she heard fear in his voice? What if his last memory of her was anger? So she locked the phone away and never listened. Years pass, the town changed, children grow up, storms came and went, but every October 18, another voicemail arrived, always at 11:47 p.m. Sometimes Rosa almost opened them, especially on lonely nights, especially when she cooked Gabriel's favorite meal by accident, especially when she heard boys singing near the port. But fear always stopped her, because as long as she never listened, part of her could pretend Gabriel was still alive somewhere, waiting, maybe angry, maybe lost, but alive. One stormy evening, a young traveler stopped at Rosa's food stall. Wet jacket, guitar case, tired eyes. He looked strangely familiar. The young man smiled politely. "Your grilled fish smells exactly like my mother's cooking." Rosa smiled faintly, then noticed something shocking. A necklace around his neck. Gabriel's necklace. Her hands froze. Rosa shakingly asked, "Where did you get that?" The young man looked surprised, then softly answered, "A man gave it to me years ago." Rosa's heartbeat thundered. The young traveler explained, 8 years ago, after the bus accident, a wounded young man helped survivors escape near the shore. He stayed behind to rescue others before disappearing into the flood waters. He handed over the necklace and said, "If you ever meet my mother, tell her I'm sorry for living angry." Rosa broke down instantly, crying so hard she could barely breathe. Because for 8 years she believed Gabriel hated her. But his final words were an apology. That night, for the first time, Rosa opened the cabinet, pulled out the old phone, 16 unopened voicemails. Her fingers trembled violently. Then finally, she pressed play. Voicemail 1. "Mama, I'm sorry for shouting earlier." Rosa covered her mouth. Tears streamed down her face. Voicemail 2. "Mama, the bus is delayed because of the storm. Don't worry, okay?" Voicemail 3. "I passed by a music store earlier. I wish you were here to see it." Voicemail 4. "Mama, I know you're angry, but when I succeed, I'll come home first. Promise." Rosa cried harder with every message. Then came the final voicemail, the one sent minutes before the crash. Gabriel's breathing sounded shaky. People screamed faintly in the background. Metal groaned. Water rushed violently. And yet, his voice remained soft. "Mama, if you hear this, I think something bad is happening. I'm scared." Rosa collapsed to her knees. "But please don't blame yourself," Gabriel continued. "I know you love me. I was just too stubborn to understand." More crashing sounds. Then, quietly, almost whispering, "You were the best mother I could ever have." Rosa screamed in tears. Years of guilt shattered at once. Gabriel wakily laughing. "And Mama, when I become famous someday, I still want you sitting in the front row." Then silence. The voicemail ended. The next morning, Rosa visited the young travelers again and discovered something unbelievable. Gabriel had left behind a notebook of unfinished songs during the rescue chaos. One song had no title, only one sentence written at the top for Mama. The traveler offered the notebook to Rosa. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a song about home, about grilled fish smoked by the sea, about a tired mother pretending to be strong, about love that struggled to say itself aloud. For the first time in years, Rosa smiled through tears because Gabriel never stopped loving her, not even in his final moments. Months later, the town held a small festival near the shore, and for the first time ever, Mama Rosa stood on stage, nervous, shaking, holding Gabriel's old guitar. The crowd fell silent. Then, softly, she sang her son's unfinished song. Her voice cracked, the melody imperfect, but every word carried love. And somewhere between the ocean waves and the night wind, it almost felt like Gabriel was singing with her. Sometimes, the hardest things in life is not losing someone. It is carrying the words left unsaid. One argument, one moment of pride, one message never opened, and yet, love remains, even after death, even after silence, even after years of regret. So, if there is someone you love, call them, forgive them, listen to them, because one day, all you may have left is a voicemail. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone you love. And if you still have words left unsaid to someone important, maybe tonight is the time to say them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more emotional stories that stay with you long after the screen fades to black.